Hey there everyone, Smult here with another art video. This time I'm doing another watercolor. Less of a test, it's still a test though, because I'm still pretty new to watercolors. The last time I did a painting of my original character Care, and this time around I'm doing another original character. This one is Duvessa. And today I'm using all the same materials that I did in the last watercolor video, so all that stuff is mentioned there, except for this time around I'm not using that big bamboo brush because it shed a lot. I don't know if you noticed in the other video, and it made me mad. So I decided to retire that from watercolor, and because I don't have a big brush, I decided to compensate with just a water bottle, which is a pretty good idea, except it put a lot of water onto my piece, which made the drying, which I felt like it increased the drying time, and apparently I don't have a lot of patience because I would leave it alone for like half an hour or so, and then I'd go and I'd touch it, and it's still cold. So it's like, well, this is still wet, so I'm gonna wait a little bit more before I start messing with this. And before you know it, I would just put it down and I'd go take a nap and wait until next day to keep working on it. So you'll see in between takes, like the lighting and stuff changes because it's a different day. Also, you may notice that I use a little pink water bottle, and that is full of rubbing alcohol, which textured my paper really nicely. The only downside to that is the alcohol bled through to the other side of the paper, and I didn't know it did that until I actually lifted the painting off of the watercolor block, and I saw, oh hey, it's a little purple on the other side. So I either need to be a little less heavy-handed with the alcohol, or I just need to leave it specifically for marker work, which I'd probably go with plan B and use that for marker work specifically. Oh, right, I also forgot to mention that I am featuring this painting and this video into LemiaCrescent's 30,000 subscriber painting contest. So Lemmy, if you're watching this, hi! Anyway, there'll be a whole bunch of words and such down in the description below, or to the side, wherever it happens to fall, of my theme and what I went with this, or what I wanted to do with all this down there. And I'm not really going to talk about that here, otherwise it's just really redundant, and I may as well have just not said anything, but I wanted to talk because I need the practice, because I'm not very good at this commentary thing, I think. It's like, it's weird talking to myself. Like, I do it a lot, but I've never had to record myself, and so I don't realize how, like, weird I sound. Like, you never notice how weird you sound until you record yourself and listen back to. Anyway, this is my character Duvessa. She is along the same range of Care in that she's a demigoddess, and she is the personification of a weather phenomena. It's not really a phenomena because it happens all the time. But where Care is I would describe her as being a cloud break. Duvessa, she's a cloud burst. And a cloud break is basically when the clouds break up and it's not raining anymore. And a cloud burst is when the storm clouds get really, really full and then rain starts happening. So basically she calls the rain. And that's exactly what she's doing now. She's starting a storm, which is why it's starting to get a little dark at the bottom. Or I'm trying to build the color nearer to the bottom and leaving it light in the upper half. And this is like one of those scenes I don't think about drawing too much, because Duvessa, she actually doesn't like to use her powers. Care will use her powers all the time because they're easy for her to control. But Duvessa, she has a stronger reservoir of magic, I suppose, if you want to go with that. And and she really doesn't like her powers. So it's not often that she'll use them, but in this case I felt like, you know what, that's when Lemmy announced the contest, I thought this was the immediate thing that came to mind. Like, this is what I want to do. And it came out so much better than I originally thought it was going to with how I painted Care. I apparently learned quite a bit from painting Care to when I started painting Duvessa. And I think it shows a lot, because if you watch Care's video, I'm kind of doing things at random. I'm not really sure what's going on. But here I was able to, I knew my colors a little bit better and how they were going to react. And I'm like just super amazed with how great Duvessa turned out compared to Care. Like, I wish Care's background had turned out to like half as nice as this one, because I like all the colors in Care's piece, but I didn't like what I did with it, and just, like I said, it wasn't like my best piece. And then Duvessa I'm still not like 100% happy with, but she turned out so much better than I thought she was going to, that I'm really proud to put her into this contest, and here's to hope and fingers crossed. Anyway, like I said, Duvessa doesn't like to use her powers, so I don't really think about doing this kind of scene a lot. But I figured the theme was emotion, and magic, I feel like, is something that's like, is channeled through your emotions, kind of like Raven and Starfire from Teen Titans. Like, I would equate Duvessa's powers similar to Raven's. She's not quite as destructive. Like, I mean, I guess she is, because storms can get like really, really strong, and she can call really strong ones if she wanted to. And then Care, her magic is more kind of like Starfire's, where she's a little bit more free with hers, because it's there aren't as many consequences. And Duvessa and Care, they have a very intimate relationship. Care is never too far away from Duvessa at any given point. Care tends to worry over Duvessa a lot, where Duvessa is much younger, though it kind of pisses Duvessa off quite a bit, because Duvessa doesn't like to be seen as weak. She doesn't like to admit to her flaws, because really, who does? And then when I think about these characters, I feel like Duvessa would be more of a main character, and Care would be like a side character. And then there is one more character that I have of this group, so there's like 3 of them, which I have actually featured him once on Instagram, like a sketch of him, along with a sketch of Care. And I'm hoping to do a watercolor painting of him eventually, though I'm finding that I'm having trouble composing it. Like, I had a lot of trouble composing Duvessa as well, because originally I had a sketch in my sketchbook, but because this is a watercolor block, it means all the papers are glued together, so I can't take it and put it over my light box to trace it, which made transferring the sketch really hard. I basically had to redraw the entire sketch, and I made a couple changes. Like, here she's facing the right. In the original sketch, she's looking towards the left more. And then I changed her hands a bit, because hands are one of those things that, like, they're really hard to draw, because they're funny shaped. There's so many planes to them that I draw a hand once and I can never draw it that way again. And I learned this time to line it first before I started painting, because one of the things that happened when I was painting Kara is when I put her skin color in, all my pink lines kind of disappeared and I forgot where they were. And then this time around I used a blue pencil to sketch her, and then just to make sure that they didn't get lost, I lined it in a pink multi-liner. Though I feel like the blue probably would have stood out a little bit more than the pink does. Though it does get lost. Like I'm not really seeing it anymore. Like just overall, I just enjoy doing this piece a lot more than my first one. Like I wasn't expecting to really like doing Care. Like, it's not a surprise that Care turned out the way she did, because I didn't know what I was doing, but still, like, the results are the same. Whereas Duvessa, I had so much fun with her. There were some little mistakes here and there, but overall, I think I was able to cover it up really well. So it's like, it's hard to tell what wasn't purposeful and what was. Like, when I was working on the underpainting for Duvessa, I really liked how the underpainting turned out. It kind of gave her, like, a statuesque feel, which I couldn't justify keeping, so I did have to put her, which you see now, I did have to put in her skin tone to make her, like, look more alive. But in her hair and her wings, originally what I was going to do was I was going to take some Copic ink and then paint with that for her hair and her wings like I did with Care. But I just liked the underpainting so much that I continued to build off it so that it didn't look unfinished like it did earlier. Even though it's not like the colors that I wanted. But I still liked it because it looks almost opal-like. Like you can see here, I'm working in some of the blue, trying to build some of the shadows, and the water's beating on me. And yes, I am using the masking tape on the side as kind of like a mini palette. Just so that I have more control of the pigment. But for this paint, I still have some left over on my palette. Those little tiny squirts go quite a long way. So I will probably do one more painting with those paints, and then I will switch over to some new paints that I got. They came in the mail just the other week, and I did a big old color chart of them. I played with them so that it's not a complete mystery to me like Care was. But now I have my own paints, so definitely expect more watercolor videos from me in the future. I'm not sure how many of them I plan on doing, though. I still definitely like marker work just because it's so much quicker. Like I said earlier, this took me a couple days to finish just because it took me a while, or it took all the washes quite a while for them to dry, to the point that I wanted them to be dry. Yeah, and we're getting to about the end of the video, so I'm gonna about call it good here. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!